Hi students, so our topic today is how to write an effects essay. So maybe you have written essays before and you know that essays begin with an introduction paragraph. At the end of the introduction is a thesis statement. Then there are 3 body paragraphs that each cover a different point, and then a conclusion paragraph to summarize. So what is different about an effects essay? So let me just tell you a little more details. Effects are things that happen after an event. So an event or something happens and it causes, or as a result, 3 other things happen. So let's look at a specific example. For example, if our event is a snowstorm, a major snowstorm, some of the effects or results of the snowstorm are that we need to shovel or clean the snow. We might have car or driving problems, and we might have health problems. All of these things happen after the snowstorm, after the event, as a result of that event. In another example, we could have the event be going to college. What are the results or what are the effects of going to college? One effect could be learning more. Another effect could be stress or making new friends. So you can see that for effects essays, it's okay to mix positive and negative effects. For example, learning more or making new friends are positive, but stress might be a negative effect of going to college. Okay? Let's look at some things that are not effects, some problems that some people have when they're writing about effects. So we want to talk about what are the effects of learning English? What are the effects of learning English? Okay, so this person says, okay, I'm going to write about learning English. I think it's easier to learn English when you are younger compared to being older. Okay, because when you're younger, your brain is more flexible, so it's easier to learn. Okay. You also have more career or job opportunities after you learn English. But here's a negative one. English has very difficult spelling. It's very difficult to know how to spell in English because it's not a phonetic language. So the way we pronounce things can be different from how we write them, right? Okay, so this person who chose these 3 topics is writing about learning English. About. About means their topic is learning English. But they have a problem because some of these are not the effects of learning English. They are not the result of learning English. So career opportunities is a result. First we learn English, next we have more career opportunities. But is it true that first we learn English and then it's difficult to spell? No. Or that first we learn English and then we are older or younger? No, that is not the way it works, right? So these 2 things are not effects. And that's why when we're working on this style of essay, we must keep a very strong focus on effects. Okay, so let's look a little bit more about how we can brainstorm ideas for our effects essay and write an outline, which is our homework. Okay, so this is a method that often works very well for writing effects essays in English. Okay, and this is a brainstorming using concentric circles. So there's many different ways to brainstorm, but this is just one that seems to work extra well for effects essays. You don't have to do it like this, but this is just an interesting way that I want to tell you. So let's say that my topic is the effects of learning English. Okay, I already thought of one sub-point, right? My point that I already thought about was about my career opportunities. Okay, so these are things that are related to work or to a job. Okay, so what can I say? What do I mean? What would be some examples maybe of those effects? Okay, one thing would be I could get a job. Okay, I could get a job in a different field, a new area or field because of knowing English, okay? Maybe I could even earn more money because of being bilingual or multilingual, as some of you are, okay? Instead of getting a job, I could also open a business or expand my business, okay? When I know English, right? I could use, I could do international exchanges, okay? I could have more customers really for my business, right? So you can see that by brainstorming this way about the effects of learning English, first I have a very general point of career opportunities. Then I think of two sort of major points. One is getting a job, right? Like working for a company. But another one is opening a business, having my own company. So these are different, and I could give several examples for each one. So when it comes time to write my paragraph about this, I use this whole kind of, let's say, slice, this whole piece of the pizza, and I have lots of different examples that I could put inside my body paragraph. So what else can we think of in terms of the effects of learning English? What else can we think of about some of the effects of learning English? Okay, another effect might be to make new friends. Okay, so this is something that I mentioned before with like going to college, but so you could make friends who um, friends who uh, friends who speak English. Well, let's put it a different way. So how can we make friends by speaking English? So you can meet friends in your ESL class, okay? You can meet friends from many different countries, and you can learn about different cultures. But you have the common language of English, okay? Now, in this one, I can't really think of another point here. That's okay. I don't always have to complete every single square when I'm brainstorming. It's okay, okay? You might also make new friends like in your neighborhood, okay? Or maybe in the school for the children, if you have children, okay? Or maybe in the gym or something like that, okay? More friends outside of school in the community, okay? And because you can speak English, you can communicate together, okay? So we would continue like this. I'm going to give another example here. So if I want to say, sometimes people write a point and effect that's very general. Like they're like, oh, you know what? It's so good to learn English. So I'm going to write about how it gives me a better life. How English gives me a better life. But the problem with this better life is that it's very general, very broad. In fact, new friends would be part of a better life. Career opportunities would be part of a better life. So we don't really want to do a point like this because it is too general. It contains too many other pieces, and it will not be an independent point on its own. Okay? Just in the same way, we wouldn't want to say like meeting people. I'll give another example, like meeting more people. Okay? Because that's too similar to new friends. We want it to be different. Okay? Another one we wouldn't want to say is like communication. Communication is very general. That could be new friends. That could be for the job. So it doesn't really make sense. Okay? Another effect of losing English, let's think of a positive one. You might forget your own language. Okay? So this is true that sometimes people start, not really, but sometimes it happens. Okay? If you don't have an opportunity to speak your own language, okay, it might also happen with your children, that if everyone is focused on learning English in your family, that they start to not learn their own language. Okay, so this is an idea of brainstorming. If you do have 4 good points for this essay, then you could choose 3 that were the best. Okay, so the next thing you need to do, which is the assignment for this week, is to prepare the outline. You can use this is the only part that I need to see, that you need to turn in. You can type it in a separate paper or write it by hand, or you can use this form to write it in. Okay, so we have a video about thesis statements that you really need to watch to learn more about this. But I'm just going to show an example of how to write a thesis statement, okay? And the examples are on the page below in this packet, but they're also attached for you. Whenever you write a thesis, or a topic sentence, you need to use vocabulary that is about effects. That is how you make sure that your essay is about effects, that your essay is not just about the topic. Like, remember, this one was a little problematic, like difficult spelling. That was just about the topic. But to make sure that you are writing only about effects, you need to make sure to put an effect vocabulary word in every thesis or topic sentence. So these are frames. Frames are like a picture frame that goes around your picture. Okay, so imagine you have a silver picture frame in your house. I also have a silver picture frame in my house. Are the frames the same? Yes, but no, because inside the frames, you and I have different things. Does that make sense? So you have your picture of your family, I have my picture of my family. It's the same with these, okay? And these are choices. This is not something where you need to go and complete all these sentences. No, these are choices that you could make. Do you want a silver frame? Do you want a gold frame? Do you want a black frame? What do you want? Okay, these are just showing you different ways that you could write your thesis and topic sentences. Okay, so as an example, I could write, learning English has affected my life in 3 ways. Or I could write, there are 3 results of learning English. Okay, so I'm going to pop back up to my thesis statement and I'm going to write it just like one of these. There are 3 results of learning English. Okay, if I want to write a list of what those 3 results are, I can put a colon for this type. Okay, and I could write career opportunities, new friends, and forget your own language. Okay, now I have a problem, so I have to correct something. Career opportunities is a noun. New friends, friends is a noun. Forget your own language is not a noun. Forget is a verb. So whenever I want to change a noun to a verb, to make sure that all 3 are nouns, these are parallel, I just add ing. And forgetting your own language. Now it is time to write the topic sentence. The first topic sentence is going to be about career opportunities. So I can look back to my sentence frames and say, one outcome of blah, blah, blah is blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to just do that one to keep it simple the first time around. Okay, so one outcome of learning English is more work is, let's say, like improved potential for work. Now, why did I write it instead of writing career opportunities? I was just trying to write it a different way so it's not boring repeating the same thing. So I had a couple so here I have to write a complete sentence and here all the topic sentences. But for my details, I can just write a few words like a better job or a business. And then when I'm actually working on that, I'm going to look back on my brainstorming. Okay. Now I'm going to write it a different way. Instead of writing another outcome, because that's so boring, I'm going to look and see what other choices they gave me in my sentence frames. Because of. See, I like that, because of. So I'm going to do like this. Because of learning English, people can make connections with new friends. Okay. And then I would add my details there. Okay. Now I'm going to add another word. Now this is not really from the frames, but you can see that when we're talking about the positive effects of something, we use the word advantage. Negative, we can use disadvantage. So my third one is negative. So finally, a disadvantage of learning English is that it might be difficult to retain your first language, okay? Especially for your family. This was just an example, guys, okay? And then I would write my details there. So that is the task that we're trying to do for this week, Okay, you do not have this as a topic, the effects of learning English, but some of your topics might be similar to this. Okay, when you look at your topics, this video is from spring of 2024, but if you are watching this video in a different semester, you will need to go to the place where your topics are posted. Okay, so the topics for spring 2024 are: how has a family member affected you? So for that example, you would be putting in the middle the effects of my mom, or how my mom affected me, or how my grandpa affected me. Okay, she taught me to cook. She made me honest, or whatever you think it is. Okay, um, whoever that, whatever that is, that would be excellent for you to add. Okay, if you are writing about that topic, about how a family member affected you, just know that in this packet there is a student essay about this topic, is where the student was writing about my father influenced me, how her father influenced her in 3 ways. This is the draft 1 of that example essay, and this is the final draft, which is much better. Okay, this was to show how we go from a first draft to a final draft, which are just like different versions of our essay. So that would be good to look at. Okay, also for spring 24, you have what are the effects, oh, this one I didn't change yet. Okay, what are the effects of intercultural experiences or learning about a new culture? And then finally, you have choose an event in the world and explain the effects of that event. Please check the topic with me before writing this essay. Okay, this can be a really good essay topic for people who would like to write about something in the news. But I just want you to remember that you have to write about the effects. For example, if you're writing about a change in government in your country, there's a new president in your country, for example, you have to write about the effects. What happened as a result of that president? Okay, or even if you're writing about a war or something like that, you have to write about the effects of the war, not the causes and not anything like that. Okay, so that is the assignment. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this video was clear, but I'm always, remember there's a lot of other videos posted on Blackboard. So if something isn't clear to you, like maybe the thesis statement wasn't clear, go and watch the thesis statement videos. Or maybe the brainstorming isn't clear, watch the brainstorming videos. I want you to really take responsibility for doing some of that, okay? And always let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.